on. All right. Hello, everyone. It's
There we
Danny
go.
and Wanda from Deep South Homestead.
Finally. Let me guess if I can pull this chat out.
Yeah, he's going to try and fix our chat where we got it a little bit bigger than normal. I'm not sitting right in front of you trying to read it. Maybe he can get it a little bit. That's still not very big.
Well, if I cover
up everything. I don't care. Make it big.
All right.
Makes it where I can see. Yeah, that's a little better.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right. Now.
So we've been answering a few questions. Everybody's already asking questions, and
how's that look? I'll move that screen over there like that. How about that?
It works for me. I can see.
See that?
Pretty much.
All right.
We've been answering all kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Some of you asked about fire ants. Yeah, you ain't getting rid of fire ants in the South.
In the South, the fire ants is just...
Unless you use poison.
Well, now you can use gasoline and get rid of them, but depends if you want to do it or not. You know, I mean, I've done it before. I ain't gonna lie about it. I've had fire ants come up in my raised beds, and especially right around the edges of them, and I just pour a little gas right around the edge of it. Works every time, but I don't recommend it if it's what you don't want.
Yeah.
Carrier Rip is from Carrier. Is that what Carrier? Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of people I've been kind of talking to somewhat with emails and messages and stuff from Mississippi, and we just kind of, I guess Danny and I feel like nobody in our own area even knows who we are, but I guess
there's people that do though.
We're starting to get out there and people know. I think more people in the United States knows who we are than people in our own backyard.
Yeah, I mean, we had Barrett came over this week, and we got a chance to visit with him, and
he lives right down
he just lives here about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes from us, and very nice guy. Got to look at his sons have a YouTube channel. If you're into the shooting sports.
Didn't you say that competitive shooting?
Very competitive shooting, yeah, and they're really good. Now, I mean, for me to say someone's good at competitive shooting, because that's really a passion of mine, because I used to do a lot of shooting, is Bryce. I know I didn't get to watch all the videos, but Bryce, one of his sons, done a fantastic job. You know, I mean, the guy's really good.
And this next weekend, we have somebody coming from another town. Didn't I say it's at Lumberton? Did I say Lumberton?
You have not told me, to be honest.
It's written down. You said, who is this? And
well, I just seen you got the 20th.
The 20th, yes, next weekend.
You didn't tell me where it's from, so.
I think it's wrote on there. Okay. Anyway, somewhere close, we got a lady coming to visit. And, you know, Deep South kind of schedules somebody a little alone. We don't do this every day because Danny and I have a lot to do.
Yeah, today was one of them days. We got up this morning. It's very foggy this morning. We spent the night at the cabin last night. It was so foggy you couldn't hardly see.
We had a
very nice night. I mean, at the cabin, you know, no electricity. Oh my God!
Let me show them before you start talking about what you did today.
Oh, okay.
Danny did this earlier. Did you do it last week or earlier this week?
Last week.
All right. I don't know if we showed it last week. But
Patreon people on Patreon.
I know patrons know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Danny put down the flooring. We still hadn't got all the cabinets sealed. That's why there's not door handles on the two in front of the gathering rug. But the floor feels so different. It feels different. It is awesome. And this is another shot of it when he was putting it down. Doesn't that just look good? It just sets the cabin off.
We wanted the old-timey look. Now, this is hand-scraped. What kind of pine? Hand-scraped,
pine?
It's some kind of pine, though. It's hand-scraped, some kind of pine. So, it resembles the old wood flooring in the old houses. And that's kind of what we chose. That's what we wanted. And it looked and worked out really nice.
Okay, Mari was asking about my T-shirt. It says, Deep South Homestead. I have these shirts were designed for me by Dana, and she sent me these two. But I chose the colors, but she designed the shirt. She done the designs, and then I just chose the shirts that I wanted. And then she did a Crazy Days and an All God's Children. And if you guys are interested, it's stellardays.threadless.com. And she has these shirts. She did them for us. There's a story behind that. She and her husband were living in their camper, and they're trying to make a living so they can afford their place. And she's got a design, and she does lots of hearts. She loves hearts. And so you can go on there and you can order our t-shirts, but you can also order any design you want and tell her how you want, if you want your names on it or whatever, and she'll do it. She's just trying to get her business started.
Country Homestead Preacher says, Danny, what's your thoughts on no-dig gardening? I guess it might work in some places. It won't work here because
we kind of tried that.
We tried that. And we tried amending the soil by putting on compost on top of it. We tried the lasagna gardening. We do all that kind of stuff. Fire ants just build in it. And if you try to do the lasagna gardening with cardboard, termites and all that gets up in it really, really bad. It didn't work for us. And I'm not to say that it won't work for some people. If you live in an area where there's no fire ants, it may work great for you. But right now, it's a no-go for us. We've tried it, and it just doesn't work.
Okay, we had Amanda said, could we tell her husband Brian happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Brian!
And while we're at it, Danny's daughter Carrie.
My daughter Carrie has a birthday today. Yes, so, happy birthday, Carrie!
And then my granddaughter Grace. I forgot Grace had a birthday, y'all. I've got so many grandchildren. Grace's birthday is. I don't know if it's today. I don't remember the date Grace was born on.
We only got like 15 or 20 of them.
I got too many of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember the dates. I didn't even remember it was March because she's the oddball. Most of mine were born in certain months. And I've got one in February and one in March that throws all the others out of whack.
Somebody's asking, do you think fire ants get immune to poisons? Yes, they do. Mm-hmm. They build up an intolerance to it, just like anything else.
Gail says her potatoes sprouted before the
ground dried. How should I plant them? It's not going to hurt a thing in the world. Just go ahead and plant them anyway. Just make sure the eyes are pointing up, and just when the ground dries out, just put them in. It's not going to hurt anything. If the sprouts get too long, you can just cut them off a little bit.
Happy birthday, Gwen. Gwen says hers was yesterday.
Hey, happy belated birthday, I guess is how you say it. Mimsy says her daughter's birthday is today, too. Well, happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
A lot of birthdays today. Wow.
A lot of March babies.
A lot of March babies. Just back up 9 months and you'll see what was going on.
Okay. So you was going to talk about your day.
Yeah, well,
I kind of disrupted you.
You did disrupt me there, but that's okay. Yeah, we started out early this morning. It was really foggy. I told Wanda, I said, you know what? We have our tomato plants are up about 4 inches tall right now, doing fantastic, I might say. So we talked about one of the beds out here we was going to plant those tomatoes in. I said, well, if we're going to do that, why not go ahead and plant the bed in some carrots, the Carota carrots like we like, because tomatoes love carrots and carrots love tomatoes. Now, Tara says, we'll just dig a few holes out in there when the time comes, and we'll plant our tomato plants in it. And that way we'll have carrots and tomatoes in the same bed, because we make a carrot dish here that I just literally love from fresh carrots.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be planting carrots normally because I can so many. And I'm going to get some people saying, why are you planting more carrots? But we're planting them for fresh carrots.
For fresh carrots.
I want to be able to keep carrots year-round fresh because I didn't know it until just a few months ago that he would even eat carrot salad. I don't usually make it. I've never made it. My mom used to make it. And I just happened to think about it one day because he's getting limited on what he can eat. And I said, look, if I do some carrots and raisins and put something, I said, I don't have any fresh apples to go in it, but I said, I could probably chop up some pears or something out of a jar and see how it tastes. And he said, well, try that. And he loves our pears out of a jar over in with the carrots and the raisins. He just thought that was fantastic.
I do like it. It's really good.
Now that we're out of fresh carrots, I've got some that are in the freezer that I made carrot sticks to put in the freeze dryer. And instead of freeze drying some of them, I've just been taking them out and making him carrot salad. And he said it tastes just as good, even though it's frozen carrots. They're raw carrots.
Yeah.
So.
Well, after we got through that, or I did, after I got through that, Wanda was watering the greenhouses. And then I went in and I noticed I have some white flies already starting on my citrus trees. So I didn't want to spray any kind of chemicals into high tunnels. So I went in there and I've got these little sticky things like y'all seen me use last year. And I hung them all in the citrus trees. And within a matter of minutes, the white flies were sticking to them like crazy. So we're hoping to be able to get that under control if we can catch it early enough. Then once I'd done that, then I moved over to digging electrical lines and water lines. And I just finished a while ago finally getting the electricity and a water spigot run into Miss Wanda's greenhouse. Her fans work off electric now and everything.
Sounds like a jet engine out there.
The big fan sounds like a jet airplane engine.
I'm not sure how long that was going to work and how often it's going to go, because I was inside and I'm like, what in the world is Danny doing? I could hear something going and I said, is it Danny or is it one of our neighbors? I said, somebody's doing something. And I walked outside and it sounds like a jet engine. And I'm like, okay, that's not homestead noises there. It's kind of crazy. But somebody said that Grow Family took a thing of ants and put in a shovel full in another one.
We've tried that.
It doesn't seem to work.
It didn't work for us. You know, they just were probably distant cousins and had a big reunion.
I think all ours are just all one big bed underground.
Yeah.
And I think no matter where they're at, they all belong to the same family.
Mama Tried says, do we have a video on pruning citrus trees? No, because citrus trees are usually self-pruning. They usually prune themselves, so we don't really worry about it too much.
Yeah, the Queen Dome is doing really great. If anybody hasn't seen my video a couple of days ago on Crazy Days, I did my first greenhouse tour and showed you what's coming up in the Queen Dome, and I slipped over in Danny's greenhouse and show you a little of his too.
Do we grow herbs for medicinal use, and if so, what do you use them for? Yes, we have tons of medicinal herbs here. We don't really use them for anything other than just maybe we add some stuff to our cooking every now and then. But we have them just in case something happens. And
it's kind of a thing. Everything goes in fads, I guess, and people think you've got to take a lot of herbs. You don't. You add your herbs into what you're eating.
Yes.
As flavorings, and we have medicinal herbs all over the place. There's a lot of herbs here, but I have them in case. If Danny happens to have something go on, I'm like, okay, I have that out there. I don't take it every day.
But well, herbs are not meant to be taken every day.
Not unless it's like an onion or garlic.
Yeah, like
or something.
Like you're eating onions and garlics and leeks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the allium family, then that's good. Or honey or something like that.
But you could use them as teas.
You could use them as teas. You could.
Not drinking teas, but I would say this: do not drink like if you decide you want to use red clover. I don't know that I would drink several glasses or cups of tea made from red clover every day. I would have a variety.
Yeah.
Like 4, 5, 6 different herbs, and I would make a cup of tea from each one at different times of the day, or every day swap up. I wouldn't do religiously one type unless you knew it wasn't going to overdo you.
We were asked, did our citrus trees outside survive the polar vortexes? And the answer is yes, they're doing just fine. We had a blanket, well, actually a tarpaulin thrown over them, and it killed all the leaves on the tree, but the tree's putting new leaves out, so it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Didn't lose anything. We didn't lose anything to the freeze, really.
Not really outside. It didn't.
Actually, I think it done us some good, to be honest.
Yeah, we were talking about that today.
Our fruit trees are blooming more than they've ever bloomed, so maybe it done some good to,
Is it too late to plant carrots in Tylertown? No, we planted today.
We just planted today. The only thing about it is summer carrots are not as sweet as winter carrots. They're a little bit more bitter. The question was asked earlier, do we have everything planted in our garden? And the answer is no. We only have English peas and potatoes planted in the garden. That's all we have right now. We're probably going to wait about another week. We got another little cold snap coming. It's only going to be in the high 30s, which is not going to hurt anything. But we kind of like for that to get out of the way before we set all of our stuff out in the ground.
Yeah. We've got, Danny, I want to plant cabbage. Do you put anything besides manure?
We don't use any manure anymore in our garden because of grazon. The grazon destroyed so much of our crops for so many years. We didn't know what it was until we finally figured it out. Destroyed half of one of our greenhouses. We had to dig all the dirt out of the greenhouse and throw it away and put new dirt back in. So we do not use any manure anymore. It's just not safe to do it. Now we only use either organic fertilizers, or we do use some synthetic fertilizers or some liquid fertilizers. We use that now instead.
Have you tried Mr. Leon's methods of wicking tubs to grow stuff? That's actually sort of kind of what we've got in the greenhouse.
Yeah, ours is not, our wicking system's not like Mr. Leon's. His is really good, works out really well. Ours is a little bit different than his, but they still, ours works out just fine. We don't have any problem.
Right,
we would like to know how we preserve the lima beans. That's been asked a dozen times.
Oh, okay. How we preserve them?
Yeah, we just can them.
Well, some of them I put in the freezer.
Some of them we don't put them in the freezer.
Lima beans, yes. I put.
We pick them we pick them fresh and put them in the freezer.
Yes.
Some we put up as dry beans. Some we put up we can them. I mean, we've got 3 different ways there that we do them.
What am I drinking? I put scuppernong, muscadine, ice cubes in here. Then I turned around and added apple juice to it. And on top of that, vanilla ice cream. It's really good.
They want to know how the dryer adventure is going.
I got one on the way.
We have one ordered. We took the other one to the dump. So, you know.
Next Friday, maybe.
Right now, we're just hanging clothes on the line. It'll probably be another week or so before this one gets in.
You know there's still clothes on the line?
Yeah, I know you didn't go get the clothes off the line. That's all right.
They're dry. They've been dry most of the day.
Well, with the heavy fog we're going to have tonight, you might as well just leave them dry.
But yeah, I'm actually getting in the hang of getting up every morning, washing and putting something on the line so we don't get behind, because it's not a long clothesline and we don't have to wash a whole lot. And I got up and got everything hung out this morning. And when I went out early and gathered eggs. I usually don't go gather eggs till about 5 o'clock, but I went out about 4 and gathered eggs, and then I went over where Danny was and at the greenhouse, and I started taking care of the greenhouses and stuff, and then I shut them down. And instead of going back that way, I came in the other door. And when you do that, you forget you got clothes over here. So
Trevor says he started an apple tree from an apple and said it's doing really good. That's fine. Trevor, it may not produce an edible apple. Most apples that are grown from seeds, you'll have your own variety, that's for sure. But it might be so bitter and so tart you can't eat it. It might not be no bigger than that. You don't know. That's the one thing about planting apples from seeds.
How are your sweet potatoes doing that you planted in the cold frame?
They're doing okay, I guess. I watered them 2 or 3 times and waiting on them to pop through. It usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks before they get up good.
How do you dry the beans? Do you leave them in the garden or another way?
Yeah, we just leave them in the garden until they mature and pick them off and bring them in the house and let them dry a little bit more and then shell them out.
Thank you, Chelsea. She said, glad you're both okay. Some of the questions just popped and it moved real fast. So y'all, if we miss it, just come back.
How much earth do you buy at a time, or where do you get it?
Dr. Earth.
How much Dr. Earth do you buy at a time, and where do you get it? Biggest bags. The only Dr. Earth we buy is we buy it in the 5-gallon containers.
It's a liquid.
It's a liquid phosphorus called Bloom and Grow, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah.
It's called Bloom and Grow.
Something or Bloom something.
Yes, I think it's Bloom and Grow.
The length of them jeans are stiff no matter what I do to them. I hang them on the line and boy, they're really stiff. That's one thing. You don't have to worry about it. They're not wrinkled when you get through. How do you feel about hydroponics? Have we ever tried it?
Hydroponics to me is very time consuming and it requires a lot of electricity and a lot of water running back and forth. My parents did a lot of hydroponic tomatoes and stuff like that. It's very time consuming, and I just, to be honest with you, I don't have the time to put into it, to be honest with you.
Is your razzmatazz hybrid, or is it developing, and is it developing buds yet?
The razzmatazz is a hybrid, that's for sure. And yes, it's already leafing out, so I'm just waiting on it to see. Now, the grape on it is not going to be very big. It ain't much bigger than your fingernail. They're kind of tiny, almost like a possum grape, but they claim that they are so sweet.
Did we keep the dryer tub for a chicken plucker? No,
nope.
We own our own.
We already have a chicken plucker of our own, so we didn't need one.
We didn't need it for anything, and it was all damaged. It wouldn't have done. People asked if we would use it for different things, and no,
it was so smutted up on the inside and stunk so bad. So no.
And the room in there had no smut nowhere. There was no smut or smoky stuff on anything. I got no black substance anywhere, but I can't get the smell out of there. I've rubbed down the walls, so it's not the walls that's smelling. And when Danny takes the pipe out from under the house, we're hoping that will clear that out, because for whatever reason, we have no smell. There's nothing in the pipes. There's no black stuff in the pipes. There's no black stuff anywhere except in the dryer.
Sharon Brazier said, did I jump the gun on planting corn? Well, it depends on where you live at. We'll probably be planting corn here.
I have corn.
Wanda, well, yours is in the high tunnel. But I mean, you know, about another week, if we don't get a frost during this cold spell, we should be okay. Now, it could still frost all the way up till May, but I looked at the extended forecast, and they don't have it projected anyway.
I have the Cherokee long ear popcorn planted in my greenhouse, in my queen dome, and it's up about, what, an inch and a half, 2 inches tall?
About 2 inches tall.
And so I'm hoping to have some popcorn this year. We're going to see.
Well, you have to put the razzmatazz on a trellis. Yes, I will put it on a trellis, yeah. Can I plant carrots with peas like tomatoes and carrots? No, because peas will overtake them and cover them and shade them out. It will not work.
Are we having a hard time finding seeds? No.
No, there's seeds everywhere here. If you go to Walmart, your feed stores, I mean, there's just thousands and thousands of packs of seeds everywhere you go.
Now, if you order seeds, yes.
Yeah, but and I'll tell you,
it's because people are just buying.
I'll tell you why. It's because the company's first responsibility that sells seeds is to the large manufacturers like Walmart and your feed and seed stores and stuff like that. All those come first, the ones that ship out. Secondly, comes to people like you or me or anyone else who would order, and you know, the big box stores get first choice.
Yeah. So that we have, I mean, we save our own seeds, but
yeah,
we've seen seeds everywhere, all over the place. Sugarcane has rooted. Thank you, guys. You're welcome, Whitewater.
Ours is starting to pop through the ground a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed we had some in places. We have Anna apple trees. I'm getting mixed info online. Are they self-pollinating?
We have Anna apple trees. I'm getting mixed info. Yes, the Anna apple is a self-pollinating tree, but it will always do better if you have another variety like an Ein Shamir, a flowering crabapple, or a Dorset Golden. Now, not a golden Dorset, but a Dorset Golden.
I'm about to burn up all of a sudden.
Oh, you having a hot flash?
Yeah. I wanted to mention something. I've got a few things I need to mention while we're here. Miss Francine from Time to Sew, she sent a card, and I couldn't find it a couple of weeks ago. So it was here. I just had to figure out where it was at. And you want to show this?
Oh, look at this table runner here now. This is really nice. This is going on the table at the cabin. Check out.
Miss Brenda said she does this to pass the time in.
I'm trying to get it where you can see it. This thing is beautiful. It matches the colors in our cabin really well. And I just finished the table, and this thing fits the table perfectly.
Yes, and so, thank you, Miss Brenda.
Yes, thank you so much. We're going to be putting this on the table at the cabin.
And what it was, she asked me about the double rocker that we have at the cabin. And I went over and took pictures of every aspect of the double rocker. And then I measured boards and everything. Her husband is making her a double rocker. And so she sent this as a thank you gift for me, sending her the information she wanted. So this.
Oh, yes. This
is from George. Let me read what it's from here. All kinds of stuff.
We got all kind of goodies from one of our subscribers here. I haven't taken everything out of the pack yet because I wanted to make sure I showed it before I did.
His YouTube channel is My Suburban Adventures. He likes to garden, cook, and barbecue. So he sent these for us. So
he sent us these things here. Now this right here is it's an injection needle kit, like you inject like turkeys or
and Danny needed one
chickens and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure I could probably even do a ham or something with that. You know, that's really a stainless steel one, really nice one.
Very nice.
Then he sent a pair of I call these bear claws. These right here, what you use for like pulled pork, you grab it, stick it down in it, and you know you one of them fits in each hand. It's like a pair of bear claws, and you reach in there and you pull on the meat like that and pull it out to make pulled pork. Then he sent a right and a left-handed gloves
so you don't
burn your hands. They can handle the hot meat with your hands and all that. And I hadn't took anything out of the pack because I was saving it to do the live stream with.
Yeah, I try to keep everything together so I don't lose it because if I take it out, it never makes it to the live stream.
Yeah, don't ever make it to the live stream.
Okay, there's a picture that says coffee.
Okay, let me find it right here. There we
go. All right, this is from Jacob. It's called Down Home Coffee. Jacob had sent me a message a while back and asked could he mix some blends and send to me. And Jacob and his wife work for a family business that covers a lot of products like, what did I tell you, medical supplies and all kinds of things like that. But they have a special that they do, side job, that is coffee. And all the proceeds, 100% of the coffee proceeds goes to missions. And so they sent me some coffees. And if you're interested in the coffees, I will have to get you a link because I don't see it right quick on here. But it's Down Home Coffee. I think you can type in Down Home Coffee and it'll come up if I'm not mistaken. But 100% of the proceeds do go. And that coffee smells like you walked into a coffee shop, don't it?
Well, it's pretty.
It's very awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
And this was something he sent to MediSense. This is the candle melt, and it smells like cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah.
But the coffees are fantastic. So Down Home Coffees, I think you can type that in and go to it, but they are very delicious.
Do you ever use black plastic ground cover to limit weeds? If so, what brand? If not, why not? Yes, Anna, if you look at all of our videos, or any of our gardening videos, we have the black ground cover in all of our gardens. We get it from Grower Solutions. We use the kind that's got the lines every 12 inches apart on it. That kind of helps us to keep everything in pretty straight rows and all that. It helps the spacing of the products really good. It's made by DeWitt. It's the, I believe it's the 4 mil we use. Yes, I believe it's the 4 mil from Grower Solutions, and we have a link in the description down below. If you use Deep South, you will get a 10% discount off of your purchase. We don't make anything on it, but we cut a deal with Grower Solutions for our subscribers to get a 10% discount if they purchase anything by using the link that we have there.
Barbara said she built a 12 by 50 by 8 greenhouse. Will I be able to keep it cool enough I have 4-foot screens on the sides.
If you put the right fans in it, yes, you'll be able to keep it cool enough.
Yeah, Gossmania put the Down Home Coffee link there. Y'all, if y'all want some good coffee that tastes good, and they have all kinds of blends. They'll do different blends for you and things like that.
What do we think about perlite for a raised bed? Funny you mentioned that. Today, I put perlite in a raised bed for the carrots. I had about a quarter of a 50-pound bag, and I dumped it in a 16-foot by 4-foot raised bed and turned it all into the soil to make sure that the soil stays damp enough and loose enough for my carrots to grow nice and deep into the soil. So it will work in a raised bed.
So what is the difference between vermiculite and perlite?
That's a good question.
Do you know the answer?
I don't think I know the answer to that. So I've never
Y'all have stumped him.
I've never really thought about it, to be honest with you, because they both look the same. I'd have to look that up. Honestly,
hey, y'all stumped him first time.
Yeah, good Georgia Garden Girl got me with that one because I never have really.
Okay, let's play Let's Stump Danny. Y'all find something he can't answer. That's number one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. And I've never really looked at that.
Hello, one day at a time. Let's see.
Do you put the perlite with your berries too? I use the perlite in all my beds in the greenhouse. I don't use it in anything outside, but any beds or potted plants or container gardens, I use perlite in everything except just growing in a regular garden.
Can you post a link to the lady who made your T-shirts? It is, where did I put it? It's Stellar Days, STELLARDAYS .threadless THREADLESS.com.
There's a good point there that Drum and Son Live made. Ground cover, do not cut it with a knife. It will ravel out on you. Take a small little propane torch and just run it across it, and it seals it and cuts it all at the same time. Now be careful and go fast enough with it, because if you go too slow, it will catch on fire. So you gotta be moving with it. Vermiculite, Deep South Texas is answering this. He said vermiculite will hold water, perlite will not.
Ah, okay. That helps.
Yes. I mean, they both look the same.
Never enough time says perlite is for aeration. Vermiculite keeps moisture. She said she uses both in her compost with sand.
Okay.
So both of them would be beneficial in their different ways.
Vermiculite absorbs, perlite is for draining. Okay, this is good information, guys. Really good information.
Firefly says, as long as you're answering questions, can you tell me the winning lottery numbers in the Florida thing tonight? Lottery.
Well, now if I did that, that would cut me out of winning.
You'd have to share with her.
I would have to share. I don't know if I'm a sharer or not.
Well, give her 3 or 4 numbers and just.
Well, it's like, it's 9, 8, and 12 is the real good numbers, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Thank you, UP Gardner. Y'all, this next week we're gonna have a video on the table he built. I didn't get piece by piece by piece as he built it.
No, because it was kind of a long journey.
And I was doing things inside, so we've not been able to film step by step on anything here lately. But I got a lot of it, so I'm going to show you guys the table. And we did get to use it this morning for the first time. I'm going to take the table runner over, and we're going to finish the video. We hadn't even finished it yet. We have a video coming up on Monday on the fencing.
Yes.
We did some fencing last week, and videos kept popping up, and we had a fire, and things happened, and so it got bumped to next week. We also worked on our pump house, so there'll be a pump house video this week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And this is the other project that I didn't get anything other than a few pictures. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Danny's been busy for
several days.
3 days this week on
yes.
this.
Oh gosh, I've never moved so much. 60 tons of limestone. How are your sweet potatoes doing? They're doing good so far.
Danny got a lot of this stuff.
I got a bunch of it delivered, and we have been covering all of our roads. Our roads are nothing but sand. So we're trying to get some, this is called a limestone base material first. It builds a good foundation for a road. So we're trying to get it covered up on all of our roads and all down in front of the shops. We're trying to stop some erosion problems.
Because we're trying to get it just ahead of what we call our spring rains.
Yeah.
This is what our driveway's looking like right now. Usually the water comes straight down that toward us and just washes sand, and to the right there is nothing but a huge sand pile. So he's trying to eliminate that and see if we can't have something besides huge sand everywhere. And plus we were tracking sand. The house, you could sweep the floor, walk outside, come back in, and it's nothing but sand. It's almost like you've been to the beach. So
yeah.
just think of living at the beach all the time.
Twisted Pony says, yep, I got to put a roof on my pump house. So we don't have to put a roof on, but we had to replace all the sides to it. In the video, you'll see why. It's really, really bad.
Hey, Grow family, yeah, 60 tons. He moved 60 tons.
60 tons. Man.
I thought it would take him a week or two, but by the time the guy dropped the first load off and went back to the coast and came back with the next load, Danny had 3/4 of the first load moved and was ready for him. And he dropped that second load off, and then it was another 24 hours.
It was another day because he had a doctor's appointment, so it was another day before he could come back. And of course, I had it spread by then, but then we got two more loads, and it was it was really a chore.
Thank you, Georgia Garden Girl.
Yes, we really appreciate that, Georgia Garden Girl.
Shelly says they got a truckload of crushed limestone delivered for their driveway last week. Here, you just about, Danny's fault it, y'all. He has, every time it rains, he goes and fixes the roads. Yeah. And it's a never-ending battle.
Never-ending battle.
It just washes out everywhere, and he'll fix the roads, and it rains. And I mean, he's done it for, I've been here 8 years, and every rain, it has to be fixed. So he decided it's just time to fix this because we're not getting any younger. We got to do stuff. We need to do it now and get it done.
Yeah.
So what else I got over here? Oh, you want to talk about your little...
What we got here?
This.
Oh, yeah. Look, this blew my mind. I planted these lettuce seeds. Well, it's been 3 days ago now. I figured lettuce seeds, it's going to take them 5 or 6 days to come up, so I really hadn't even been looking. To be honest with you.
Walked by last
night, and I looked, I told Wanda, I said, whoa! She said, what? I said, my lettuce has done got too tall and spindly. She said, there's no way it's come up yet. I said, yes, it has come up. It's not only come up, it's done got tall and spindly because I didn't have the light on. I was waiting for it to come up to turn the lights on. And lo and behold, the lettuce is already sticking up there 2 inches tall, which probably, I don't know if it'll make it now or not, but it's kind of tall and spindly looking, but I'm going to give it a shot and see. I just did not expect it to come up that fast. These things are amazing.
And then he didn't plant his tomato seeds till the next day or 2 days later.
2 days later, I planted my tomato seeds.
And look. You see them little spots up in there.
The second tray in the middle right there, if you start looking in there, you'll see the little tomatoes sticking up in it in 2 days.
2 days.
The tomato seeds blew my mind. 2 days. I have never had that happen with these Hoss Tool tray systems. It just was amazing.
This is those new the whole setup, and he didn't even have the light on.
No, I had no lights on because I'm like, well, it'll take 5 or 6 days for them seeds to come up, No, 2 days. Pop through there.
Somebody's wanting to know, will we get fish to eat this year? Yes. We plan on it.
We plan on it. We was looking at fish in the pond today. The brim are about that long, about 3 to 4, about 4 inches long right now. The catfish are already up about, where am I at? They're already up about
That's 10, a fish story.
About 10 inches long. So the fish are growing good. They're doing really, really well.
Somebody asked, was it too late to plant, I think carrots or peas
Is it
and
too late to
carrots or
plant
something.
tomatoes and peppers in the South
That's it.
Louisiana? No, it's not too late. No.
Most people are just getting started. And actually, peppers like warm.
Peppers actually like it to be a little warmer
Yeah.
anyway. Um,
So we will get fish, and we just enjoy watching them right now.
Firefly Wood says, Danny, is that a heated base? Actually, I didn't even have the heated base turned on it.
It does have a heated base.
It has a heated base, but I didn't have it plugged up and turned on.
He just put them in there.
I just stuck them in there and told her, I said, well, if the house is at 70 degrees, and I said, well, it's 70 degrees, they should, they'll come up in 4 or 5 days. No, 2 days they come up.
Dee said she had homegrown butter crunch lettuce for supper tonight.
Oh.
I have some, is it butter crunch? Yeah, I think I got some butter crunch in my GreenStalk. Plus I have some of the red lettuce. I forgot what it's called. Them GreenStalks are amazing, guys. My potatoes look awesome.
Her potatoes are
If they
awesome.
just keep going and they produce, I will be satisfied. I'm anxious to see if they're going to produce potatoes in a GreenStalk.
No, I did not use the heat mat to get them to come up that quick and germinate. I didn't even turn the heat mat on, to be honest, because the house was at 70 degrees. That's plenty warm.
This also came out of my GreenStalk. This is that, what'd you call it?
It's called a watermelon radish.
Yeah. That thing was huge.
From Hoss Tool.
It was in my GreenStalk. It started going to seed, so I went ahead and took it out and tasted phenomenal. It is awesome.
John's asking, any tips for okra? Yes, do not plant okra unless the ground temperature is at least 65 to 70 degrees and there's no danger of any frost or anything like that, because okra loves hot weather.
Yeah.
And don't over put the nitrogen to it, because if you do, you'll have all plants and no okra.
Somebody said 2 to 3 inch brim. You eat them fried whole, eat them bones and all.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can you plant heirloom and hybrid tomatoes together and still save seeds?
No. Well, you can save the seed, but you don't know what you'll get. You'll get a tomato, but you don't know what it'll be.
Yeah. The Sticker Farm said they just got their GreenStalk.
All right.
Twisted Ponies just planted the watermelon radish. I didn't think it was going to make a radish, to be honest with you. It's been in there for a while, and I'm used to radishes 30, 40 days, 45 days or something. They're not long, 60 days at the most. And that radish had been in there for, I know, way more than 2 months, maybe 3 months. And I was saying, it just ain't going to make one. And then all of a sudden it started developing, and it made a huge, tall, big radish. And I think that's what I've got in my greenhouse, too.
I think it is, too.
And I just forgot what kind I put in there. I just plant stuff, y'all. What else I got? Oh, we freeze-dried some stuff that people been asking about.
Okay, what is it that we have here? Freeze-dried oatmeal. Look at that. Miss Wanda froze some oatmeal and freeze-dried it.
Yes, y'all asked me about my oatmeal. Somebody wanted me to freeze-dry some, and I did. And I broke off a little piece and tasted it freeze-dried, and it's just, I don't know, it's just the freeze-dried dry stuff. It tastes okay, but I haven't put water back yet. So I thought for breakfast one day we would rehydrate this and see what it is, but I have not tried it other than just tasting it yet.
Somebody wants to know some tips for successful pepper seed germination. Warm, warm, warm. Pepper seeds will not come up unless that soil is around 70 degrees.
Yeah, you gotta have it. One of the other things I dehydrated, I had some blueberry muffins, and I cut them in half and just made cookies out of them, basically is what I did. And I freeze-dried them and vacuum sealed them down, and they're just like a crunchy cookie. So in the future, Danny will have, these are gluten-free, made with almond and rice flour. He will have some of these for later.
Trevor says, is it really only a foot apart to save seeds from heirlooms? No, heirlooms have to be up to 100 yards apart in order to save true seeds. Did GreenStalk give you a coupon code for your viewers to use?
Yes, if you look in our description, I think it's like Deep South Homestead 10 or something like that, or Deep South 10. They give you $10 off. You can also, if you go to GreenStalk and mention Deep South or call them, Ashley knows and she'll add it to my account. Ashley is really, she's the daughter of the founder that made these things, and she's just a super person to work with. Hot peppers do better 75 to 80. Yeah.
Yeah, the warmer the soil, the better off it is. Be honest with you, our peppers usually don't produce really well until late summer. I'm just
like
being honest.
July and August.
July and August, and then all the way to frost. It kills them. They produce.
And in the greenhouse all winter long.
Yeah, in the greenhouse they just go until
we get tired of picking them.
Till we pull them up. Yeah.
Let me see if I got through all our pictures. I think
I seen Raisin Ronies jumped in here.
Yes,
there you go.
My daughter did. So as far as I know, I've kind of, let me see if I got over everything. Okay, we've covered pretty much everything except prayer requests, so we're good.
Okay, good deal.
Hey, we got through early. What else did we do?
What else did I do? Oh, Lord, what have I done? What have I done?
We have sat on the pier and watched the fish.
We did.
At least once every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, once every couple of days. We go out and sit on the pier for about 15 to 20 minutes and just watch the fish pop around the water. They're eating baby tadpoles. We got a lot of tadpoles in the pond right now. And the fish are just striking and eating those tadpoles.
Yes, GreenStalk has the covers now. I own the covers. I have some of the covers. I got them last year, I think. They do the netting that keeps the insects out. And there's another one. There's 2 different types of nettings that they have. They also have the braces, and I have the braces too for tall plants growing up that you want to keep contained. I have those. I have 2 different type of bases, and I have the original GreenStalk, and then I have the leaf GreenStalk. And the leaf GreenStalk is what I have my fingerling potatoes in.
Let's see. Shelly says, is it too late to start lettuce? No, as long as it's leaf lettuce now. Don't do head lettuce, but leaf lettuce, you'll be fine.
Oh, I know. Somebody asked earlier, wanted me to mention the type of Cherokee plants that I had in the greenhouse.
Yes.
Danny has my Cherokee purple tomatoes. They're up so tall. They'll be ready to transplant soon.
I can root transplant them anytime now.
Okay, so they're about ready?
They're ready now. Yeah.
I have the Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. I have about 4 right now, those up. I have the Cherokee long-eared popcorn about...
It's about 2 inches tall.
I mean, it didn't every seed come up, but it was old seed.
Right, it was old seed.
But I would say 3/4 of the seed came up, so I'm going to have the popcorn. I planted some Cherokee tan seeds. I planted 2. They haven't come up yet.
You got your Cherokee yellow wax beans?
Yeah, the Cherokee yellow wax beans are all up. Almost a perfect stand. I've got 2 or 3 that didn't make it. The Cherokee lettuce is, like Danny just showed you, it popped through. So if it makes it, I'll put the Cherokee lettuce in there. I planted the Hearts of Bursting flower from Cherokee Nations. I put it in a little pot, and it has, I mean, it's only been in there a couple of days, so I know it's not going to pop up yet, but I'm hoping to have those flowers from the Cherokee Nation growing.
So I was how are the blue roses doing? They're actually doing very well.
Very well.
They're in the GreenStalk, and they're doing really, really good.
Yeah. Somebody asked, did you plant potatoes by a moon phase?
I actually did not this time because it was one of them things. We had rain coming, and I knew if I didn't get them in the ground ahead of this rain, that it would be over a week before I got them in there. And when the Deep South, one thing here, if you don't plant by a certain time, you will not make a crop. Regardless of what anyone tells you, it will get too hot. Right now, I have Carpathian walnut trees that's been ordered for like 2 or 3 months. If we don't get them within the next couple of weeks, it'll probably be too late for me to plant them. These tree companies just seem to think that everything is based on what grows up north. And down here, our trees are already leafing out, already got blooms all over them, already got fruit on them. If they wait any longer, I won't even be able to plant them outside. I'll have to put them in pots in the greenhouse and just kind of keep them going.
Okay, so Gary says, I had something come in and pull the onion bulbs right out of the ground, still see the holes. Any idea on what got them?
Squirrels?
They were inside a Premier electric fence.
A squirrel? Squirrels will do it every time.
What is the best thing to amend clay soil with a new garden spot to help loosen it up?
Well, you can use pelletized gypsum. You can use mulch leaves. You can use perlite. Just composted dirt, good compost, anything like that to add into it. Don't put sand, because sand and clay makes bricks, so don't do that. It's just, don't use vermiculite, use perlite.
Are ticks and mosquitoes an issue, and how do you handle them outside in the garden? We don't have a problem.
We don't have a problem with either one of them.
Occasionally there's a mosquito, but not very often.
Not very bad.
And
no.
I don't know that we've had a tick.
We ain't seen a tick.
Except when we had the dog.
Well, we had a dog a couple of years ago. We had a few ticks get on him, but other
he
than
was
that,
running all over the place. So, in the yard area, we don't, and in our garden area, Danny keeps it plowed, and we don't have a problem like that.
Is it too late to plant sweet potatoes? Bury them for slips. I'm up north. No, it's not too late.
Can you explain the freeze hours on fruit trees that I bought from a local supply company?
It depends on what variety you bought and where you live. You have to buy a fruit tree for your area. Now, like where we live at, if I buy a fruit tree for 30 miles north of here, it'll make a beautiful tree, but it will not bear fruit. I have to have something that has 300 chill hours or less in order for me to be able to produce fruit on a regular basis. So check your chill hours where you are at and see. You plant the trees based on the chill hours.
Do you know how to get rid of moles? Obviously not. We got some in here.
We got moles everywhere, and I've got the mole poison. It's just I don't have time. I haven't had time to put it out.
They are literally ruining our yard. We've seen them one occasionally, but this year they must have multiplied to like hundreds because the yard they're everywhere now.
Do I plant according to the almanac? When I can, I do. But like I said, if we got all this rain moving in, I'll plant ahead of it. I will not wait because I even know it's south. If you wait, you lose.
What is the best large blueberry tree to buy?
A Premier. Premier is your best blueberry.
We just bought one from Jack's this past weekend. That's one of my daughters asked the question, but my other daughter bought one, and they already have berries on, y'all. We already have blueberries on this one, and it was what brand? Which one did you get? It was a rabbit eye, right?
It was a rabbit eye, but rabbit eye is just a variety. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's a Premier. You need a Premier.
But we already have some of the.
Yeah,
do we have Premier?
Yeah, we got Premiers. We got like 40 of them.
That's what ours are.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. We've got so many berry trees. Do you plant by the almanac or the moon?
When I can. Like I've already answered that twice. Like I will when I can. But I watch the weather and I plant by the weather mainly.
They say juicy fruit gum in the tracks. They love it but cannot process it, so they die.
Yeah, I've seen that. The chewing gum.
Juicy fruit. I don't own any, so I'd have to try and find some.
We have the castor bean poison to use in the mole holes. We just haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have to transplant a chestnut tree. That's Gosmania.
Carla asked for prayer. I'm trying to remember if I can put these down.
Arizona online says, I don't have a place to make compost. What is the best compost for gardening to buy? It just depends on where you're at. I mean, we use a product called, is it Schultz? Yeah, it's in a blue bag. It's called Schultz. It has time-release fertilizer already added to it, and that has worked out really good for us. Occasionally, we'll use Miracle Grow Potting Soil if we can't make enough of our own right quick, and it does, it does pretty fair.
So Totally Radical says prayer request from Miss Wanda's roses to produce beautifully. Yes. They're already the ones that I've got out in the field already they're starting to bushy out and have green. The cold kind of bit the leaves that had come out back, but I think they're going to be fine. We're going to see if we have some. And if they start doing, we're going to put some blooming growth stuff on them.
Is it okay to plant blueberries in the spring, or should I wait till the fall? You can plant them in the spring. Now, don't expect a whole lot out of them. And please make sure you keep them watered for a pretty good while till they get a good root system. But you can do it.
What's a good town in southern middle Tennessee? I guess he's saying Tennessee.
Where I don't even see that.
What's a good town in southern middle Tennessee?
What's a good town in southern middle Tennessee?
I guess to live. I don't know.
If you're looking for property to buy, southern middle Tennessee would be somewhere below Nashville. That's a hard one to call. I've been all over Tennessee, but I don't know anything about the neighborhoods or the towns.
Exactly. To give you an idea of a town. Somebody said flour, sugar, and cement as a rat poison. Might work.
Arizona Online says, thanks, we have Schultz here. Yeah, Schultz is that's what we mainly buy, and it seems to work out really, really good for us.
Gossmania says, is it safe to transplant the chestnut tree?
Yes, you can transplant your chestnut tree.
Okay, some people are saying Chatham County, Sweetwater, Fayetteville. So those are towns. If you're looking, check those out. Shelbyville.
Sweetwater is just south of Chattanooga. So yeah.
All right. Now, there's another town, but I can't. Maury, M-A-U-R-Y, Maury County. Indian Mound. Somebody said Huntsville, Alabama is a great place to live. In Tennessee. Okay.
You don't want to live anywhere where I live at. It's just we don't live in a good place. Our place is no good.
Y'all just stay away from Mississippi.
Stay away from South Mississippi. It's no good down here. You know what I mean? It's not a place that anybody wants to live in.
If y'all come down here, y'all would just say, y'all got too many problems.
Luke's Story says, do y'all have that much weeds in the garden?
Yes. Guess what Wanda was doing today?
Well, with the row cover, the ground cover,
it's covered in weeds today.
Yeah, but the ground cover, we don't have any ground cover covered in weeds.
Where I was pulling, there was rocks and weeds.
Yeah, but there's no ground cover under it.
One of them did. No. And it was on top of it. Yes, sir. No. The sand got on it. And
well, if the dirt gets on it, it will, but the ground cover does not. In the garden, we're talking about in the garden.
If sand gets on it, it will.
In the garden, we don't hardly have any weeds in our garden. Wanda's just going wacko on you here.
No, if sand gets on your ground cover. If
dirt gets on top of the ground cover, then yes, stuff will come up in the dirt and the roots will grow through it. But it does prevent
a lot.
Prevents a ton of stuff.
We didn't have as many weeds. Last year was the first year that we were not weed free, but weedless.
Yeah.
Less, I guess you would say. Now today, in front of the greenhouse, he had put some ground cover down and then rocks on top of it. And where the dirt had washed in, weeds were coming up, not like on top of the ground cover.
We don't have any ground cover.
On that end there was. This end doesn't. That end does. I know what I'm talking about because I pulled weeds all morning. This end just had rocks, and everywhere the dirt got, there was weeds all in there. Well, I pulled a lot of weeds off of it. Everywhere there was dirt, there was weeds. Yeah. So if you get dirt on your ground cover, yes, you can expect weeds. Just saying. He don't pull weeds.
Just found in my area, I can't cut a tree in my backyard. I would move. If I couldn't cut a tree in my own yard, I would move. Because that's communism. So someone to look at you and tell you that you can't do something on your own property is communism. And if I can't do something, I'll probably do it anyway. But I mean,
Jack Rabbit
that's
says,
just who I am.
Jack Rabbit says, you know, I heard New York is a nice place. Don't move to southern Mississippi.
Oh yeah, I feel the
Go to
same
New
way.
York.
New York is a great place to live. Yeah.
Used to live in Meridian.
When I was about 7 or 8.
Mr. Danny, how about $30 for electrical permit? Kentucky is being nice to us.
That's about what it is here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, the thing about me being a contractor here, I don't have to pay for permits at all. You know, if you're a contractor in our area, you don't have to pay for permits. But now, if I'm building for somebody else, I have to. But if I'm building for my own self, I don't have to pay for any permits as long as I don't hire anyone with skilled labor to help me. If I'm just doing it myself, I don't have to.
Somebody said it's exploding in South Mississippi. Seems everybody wants to move here. Yeah, that's why we said y'all don't all move down here to South Mississippi. It just explodes.
No.
Go to Missouri and
go somewhere, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri.
You know, that's where everybody's going. Y'all go there.
Yeah. Y'all all head in that direction.
Because if everybody heads to Mississippi, then we've just got a bunch of people in Mississippi. Might have some good people.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'd have a bunch of people. Danny's just...
Dustin says it's illegal to move to Tennessee if you're from the northern state.
He's in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling people. It's illegal to move into Mississippi. I mean, it's one of them things that there's so many bugs down here. You wouldn't want to live.
I don't want to live with the bugs.
You don't want to live with the bugs and the heat and the fire ants and
fire ants is the #1 thing. If I could move and be somewhere without fire ants, I would.
You got to be tough to live down here. The average person can't take it.
Most Northerners can't take it. Just ask the people that's moved here. You
just ask people who's come here and tried to be what do they call them, woofers for us.
Yeah.
When they got the first day here, I thought I was going to take some of them to the doctor because the bugs bit them, and they got whelps all over them. They look like they broke out with leprosy or something,
I've never seen anybody so broke out. Now, we've had 2 or 3 come that have broke out.
Yeah, they broke out bad.
And I'm sitting there going, y'all.
Yeah.
I guess we're just used to it, and bugs don't like us or something. I don't know. They don't bite us. Not like that, anyway.
Don't move to Missouri. The dirt is poison. 2 outsiders. Florida's full. Don't move there.
Everyone wants to move to Middle Tennessee. We are closing the borders here.
That is true. I'm telling you guys. Wanda and I, we just, for kicks, sometimes we look at land in Missouri and Arkansas and Tennessee and Kentucky, and we'll say, what about this one? And we'll check on it. Within 1 day, it is sold.
Yeah, and we find something wrong with every property. Either it has access, but you got to go across somebody's property to get to your property. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Believe me, you don't want to do that because we are the property owners that have people going through
We are the property owners that have people who go through our property, and it is a never-ending headache. These people think that they can just, I don't know what the deal is.
Don't even go there, but they don't like it because we won't let the county have our land.
Yeah.
And so we have an argument like every 3 to 4 months. One of them's going to argue about the land because we own the road.
Yeah.
So y'all don't want to be in that situation.
I will go to the end. I will go to court. I won't care what it costs. I will fight it to the end.
Everybody's moving to Tennessee. Close the borders. Don't send them to Tennessee.
How long for bare root strawberries to start growing? Probably about 3 days. You put yours in the ground, and within 3 to 4 days, it's already leafing out.
Yeah, I've got some pretty strawberries from Grower Solutions and from Gurney's. Yeah. I got some from both of them, and they're just as pretty and green. They didn't take them just a few days in the ground.
Oh, Terry says, are you near Biloxi, Mississippi? Biloxi's about 40 minutes from us. They're way south of us, about 40 minutes. We're about 30 miles inland from the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yeah. Amanda said it's awful. She lives in a small town in Middle Tennessee, and she said, I have anxiety when I go into town because so many people have moved in here and the traffic is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, see, I came from a town about, 30 miles north of here.
45 miles north of here.
Something like that. And I was used to the traffic there because it was a college town, and plus it had a major hospital and cancer center and all this. I was used to that traffic. But when Danny and I got married and I didn't go back into that town anymore, we had to go when he was in the hospital, and so much had changed. And just driving in that traffic seemed like it was 10 times worse than it ever was before. And even our town, Danny hates to go in our town.
I hate to go in my own
cars
town.
And he's throwing a fit.
Yeah, I've done learned the times in my town. If you go in these times, you're just going to be traffic everywhere.
Yeah, okay. We pull up to Piggly Wiggly, 10 cars, and he's throwing a fit. And I'm like, you are in Hattiesburg.
I hate it.
500 cars.
I don't like people.
He said 10 cars, he's throwing a fit.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at all these people. I'm like, what are these people doing? Well, I mean, why ain't they at work? Why ain't they doing something,
Why don't they just let Danny have the whole town to himself?
I mean, it used to be you could come up there and you could just drive around. There was no cars nowhere hardly.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm telling you. There's no land left in Tennessee. Land is too expensive in East Tennessee.
See, it's getting expensive where we live at. I can tell you that.
Y'all, Mississippi has probably one of the I don't know why. We are the poorest state in the United States according to everybody.
Yeah.
But yet come to Mississippi and try to buy
land here. Cut
over land.
Cut over land ain't nothing but stumps and dirt.
And they want prices.
They want $5,000 to $10,000 an acre for cut over land, and I'm like, no.
I'm shocked. No. We have looked all over everywhere at things, and you can't even get a rundown house under $200,000.
I know it.
And 2 or 3 acres of land, and I'm like, you are kidding me. I don't know. Mississippi's supposed to be poor, but yet they want a lot for their houses. It's just crazy. Don't they have a home to go to? I'm not sure what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, you said that. Don't they have a home to go to or a job or something?
They need to be doing something.
Get out of the town.
Get out of the way. Because half of them can't drive. If you sit there and watch them, they turn their blinker on a mile down the road, and there's about 5 interchanges before they get to where they're going, and you don't know where they're turning at. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you sit there and then they'll run right up to somewhere and slam on brakes or pull out in front of you. It's just crazy.
Danny, my bare root strawberries have been in the GreenStalk for 3 weeks and nothing's happened.
Too dry.
In the GreenStalk, it is a battle.
It's a battle in the GreenStalk. GreenStalk is a very, very tedious thing.
With strawberries.
With strawberry. The dirt must be level to the top of the little pocket thing.
Yeah.
And the dirt must be wet. You've got to wet that thing. I'm talking about it's got to be wet.
When you're doing strawberries, Ashley told me that the strawberries is the one thing in a GreenStalk that's beautiful when you get them going. But on some of mine, they're down about this far down inside the pocket. And strawberries don't do very well down in the pocket because I had dirt in there, but it sank. So what I'm going to be doing to mine is taking it out, putting more in there, and putting my plants back up higher. The ones that are up high are already putting on blooms and doing perfect. So I've been trying for 2 years. So hopefully mine will do. But if nothing else, just scoop the whole thing out, add a lot more dirt, and get them up high and try it. Okay.
Country Homestead Preacher, did the doctor tell you to lay your baby naked next to a sunny window? That's important.
My grandson. They got a new grandbaby.
Did he have jaundice? Must have had jaundice then, because they put a light on them now. I mean, used to you just put them when I was growing up, you just put them outside by the sun,
Yeah, I used to put mine near a fluorescent light.
Yeah.
But yeah, Country Homestead Preacher has their first grandbaby was born this week.
Yeah, if it's got jaundice, the liver just hadn't quite kicked in yet. Ray is wanting us to pray for his wife. I wrote down Sandy.
Okay.
She has lupus and is not doing good.
Biloxi isn't a great spot to live in. Everybody's trying to send them away because everybody's moving out of the cities into rural areas. It looks like the areas are just getting really populated really fast, and I guess that's part of it. But I mean, I don't blame people. I wouldn't want to live in cities either.
Twisted Pony says everything in my nearest town is under construction, and that's the thing about it. The prices of lumber is sky high right now. Anybody building right now is going to be upside down in whatever they're building. I'm going to tell you, it's not a good time to build.
Yeah, Lohan Acres says if anybody wants it bad enough, they can buy his place, all 10 acres for $1 million. I got 10 acres for $1 million.
I got 10 acres loaded with everything on it. I'll take $1 million for it. I'll take 800,000.
Would the 7-tier GreenStalk be better than the 5-tier for strawberries? Probably, because it's a shorter pocket.
Yeah.
It might do strawberries a lot better. They just came out with the shorter pockets this year. And I put my potatoes in the shorter pockets, and I may wished I had them in the bigger ones, but that's what I had available when I was ready to plant potatoes. But I do believe the strawberries might do better in the little short ones too.
Yeah.
Because strawberries grow kind of on top of the surface more or less, right? They don't just go, I mean, they will grow deeper, but they do up on top better.
Okay, we are past our 9 o'clock.
Daughter and her baby. Okay. All right. So maybe we've answered a whole bunch of questions.
Maybe we've answered a lot of them today. And we got a couple of people we need to remember, especially Eric from Life and Farmland.
Yeah, some good news.
Got some good news. Looks
hopefully.
Hopefully, if everything goes all right, he's got one more test. And it looks like he's going to be able to get his kidney transplant. So, and maybe some other transplants are doing. So
I think it's the kidney. I don't know if they're doing both. I know one.
So we're praying for Eric. Eric's a real good friend of ours from Eric Life and Farmland.
And if you wanted to help him and Jenna out, go watch their videos called Life and Farmland, and just tell them Deep South sent you, things like that, because they really could use our prayers. Eric's one of the first people that gave us a shout out when we started YouTube. And we didn't even know what a shout out was at that point. And somebody came over and says, hey, this little guy gave y'all a shout out over on his channel. So we went and watched. So we've kind of had a good relationship with Eric ever since. And we just wish him and his transplant, hope everything goes well.
Is tonight the night you change the time back?
I don't know.
Eileen just says, don't forget to set your clocks back. Or set them ahead.
I thought it was a couple of more weeks, but I
don't know. We're in the middle of March. I have to check that one out and see.
I don't know.
We don't keep up with nothing. I don't know. It really doesn't matter to me anyway. I mean, the only thing that matters to me would be like when we're scheduling our videos or like on a Saturday night. You know, we're doing our live stream. I need to know. But I mean, other than that, I don't care what day it is. I don't care what time it is. No, it don't mean nothing to me.
All right, so we have Sheila said pray for her granddaughter, had pneumonia.
Prayer request, please.
Texas.
My husband and 9-year-old son have COVID.
Texas, they said the border is very bad there.
Oh, I'm sure it is. You can thank Mr. B for that.
Let's see. Stringfield Farm asked for prayers. I didn't see what it was.
Yes, everybody's saying springs ahead tonight.
Okay, so I wouldn't have known that.
I wouldn't have known it because we don't watch the news. We don't.
My computers and phone would automatically redo. And Danny and I get up in the morning and look at the clock on the stove and look at the computer, and they don't say the same time, and we'd figure it out.
Yes, Gaussmania is Life and Farmland. Eric with Life and Farmland.
Yes, that's right. That's the way you spell it.
Yeah. Yes.
Do y'all not go to church? Usually,
not right now.
In a couple of years.
We haven't been. There's no churches here that's any good. We do our own stuff. You know, here you just cannot find a decent church. Everybody here is bickering and fighting and wanting to take long mission trips to other countries, or the services are so boring that nobody wants to preach the true gospel anymore. They want to tickle your ears. I mean, it's just almost impossible to find anything that's even decent now.
Yeah. When do you think lumber prices will go back down?
I don't see it in any time in the future. I'll be honest with you. Not with the administration we have in charge right now. I do not see it happening.
All right, Needy Homesteader is another one.
Heather.
Yes, I'm adding Heather. My friend Tammy, she's going through chemo treatments now, so I'm going to remember her.
Yes, Dixie Living Homestead is exactly right. Israel has passed a new law now stating that you can't do anything over there unless you're vaccinated.
Really?
And that is just a precursor for what's going to happen for the rest of the world. It's making it very difficult for them to do anything. You can't go and tour. You can't do anything in Israel hardly if you're not vaccinated, and that is it's mandatory over there. And I feel for those people. I mean, I would just have to stay home because I'm not taking it. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to take it.
Yeah. I saw another lady, her husband has been exposed to the virus. She said, just pray for them that they don't take it. His coworker had it. Yeah, where two or more are gathered, they don't need to build it. Danny and I have church just about every day, all day, in some way,
We do.
shape,
In
or
some way or
form.
form, we have church every
And
day, which is what the Lord said we're supposed to do.
And when people come, just like Barrett came this week, and you know, Danny and Barrett had a good talk, and I'm sure we will have more with him and meet his wife in the future because they don't live too far away. You know, there's so many people out there that just need somebody else to discuss things with because it's not being taught in the churches. And y'all don't know how many times we get that when people come to visit. They just say, look, we just need somebody to talk to. There's nobody around to even discuss anything with. And that's how Danny and I feel. Danny will call Kevin from Living Traditions and say, hey, man, I just need to talk for a few minutes. You know, sometimes you just got to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, me and Kevin are on the same page in so many things. And it's just good to have a person, or Ben from, VW Farm. Sometimes it's just good to have another guy on the same page as you are just to talk to,
And Tina had somebody in a car wreck. As far as I know, all right, so we're pretty much
okay. Bad to get old.
Yeah, my legs hurt.
Been sitting here this long, you start hurting and you start cramping. Okay, we do need to pray. We've done here long enough to let these people get to bed tonight. We got a lot still got to take care of. So we're gonna pray. Father, we're gonna come to you tonight. Father, we want to take this opportunity. A lot of people had a lot of requests here tonight, Father. That's encouraging that people are trying to remember others and they realize that the power of prayer really works. And Wanda and I have seen it personally in our lives. And that's the reason I'm so fervent about praying, Lord. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe there's certain ways to pray. And the Bible teaches us that there's some 7 different positions to pray in. And, if you want power, you learn the different positions to pray in. And Father, you learn in James, it says you have not because you ask not, but when you ask amiss, that you might consume it upon your own lust. So a lot of times our prayers don't get answered because we don't ask them in the right way. And Father, but tonight, sitting here tonight, we are going to ask that all the requests that were made here online, we have a list of them here, Father, and you know what's on the list. That each and every one of them would be remembered. Lord, I mean, some of them are for COVID. Country Homestead preacher's grandchild's got the jaundice, and Lord, these things are usually not too life-threatening, but Father, we just pray that it'll go away and go away quickly, and that the COVID problems will be healed, and Lord, all the other ones that's mentioned here, Eric from Life and Farmland, dear friend of ours, Lord, he needs a kidney transplant if he's going to live. And Father, we pray that you can make that happen for him and Jenna and the kids up there, because he's so young, Father, and so full of energy and so vital to have a nice family. We just pray for him, and Lord, all the others that we wrote down here. Miss Sarah, that had the lupus, Father. We pray for her, and Father, we that just Heather lost her husband this back in February. That family's still struggling and hurting, and Father, we're praying for them and all the other ones that we have wrote down here, Father, and the ones that were mentioned that we didn't get a chance to write down, and the ones that possibly slipped past us that we didn't get to see. Lord, we know you see all things, so we're praying for everybody tonight, Lord, on an equal basis across the board for healing. Lord, if it's for financial, if it's for physical, it's for spiritual, emotional. Lord, there's lots of different ways to pray here, Father, and we're just asking for blessings and prayer requests to be answered in all those areas now. Father, I don't know what good it's going to do, but we're going to pray for our country, Lord. I'm gonna begin to pray that you remove the wicked leaders from their positions in our country, Father. We can pray for them all we want. It's not doing any good. It's time now to say, remove them from positions of authority. And Father, in the name of Christ, I'm praying tonight that you will remove anyone who is in a position of authority in our country that is doing wicked things. And Lord, I'm praying tonight. That's my prayer from this point forward. I'm tired of praying that people will change. I'm tired of praying. I want them removed. So I'm going to ask that you just get rid of them, Father, from the president on down. And Lord, I think that's what we've got to have. I don't see any other way around it now. The Senate, I mean, all places like that, Father, if they can't do their job and do it right, they need to go. And so, Father, be good to us and grant us those things. And Lord, there's so many people out there that don't understand what it's like to live a godly life. And for those people, Lord, we pray for them tonight that they can come to know you and can find you as their personal Savior before it's everlasting too late tonight now. And Lord, please go with us through the remainder of the night. There are those we looked online a while ago that's having some severe weather tonight. Some people still having snow. Some people having flooding, tornadoes. All this stuff is still happening. So Lord, we want to pray for all of them that they can have safety throughout the night now. And that tomorrow will be a new day and they can rise up and enjoy their lives, Father. Lord, go with us now. Forgive us where we failed you and the kingdom of heaven. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. All right.
Now we're.
I got to get back where I can read. Open my eyes up. Everything's blurry.
I wanted to mention one thing, though. I got an email this week from a lady in, I think it was South Carolina. It might be North Carolina. I forget which one. Anyway, her name is Ashton, and she sent me pictures of her preschool class planting seeds. And she said she had been watching Deep South for a long time, and she got the idea to go ahead and try and teach her preschool class what a seed is and how to grow a seed and things like that. And the picture she sent me of those kids was priceless. Their faces when they were working in the dirt and putting stuff in cups. One of them had a seed and it was just looking at it real inquisitively, like, how do I get food out of this? And it was amazing to watch these kids. And y'all, it's all about teaching people how to grow. And that just made me feel good to get to see these kids growing something and interested in growing something.
The question's been asked before we get off of here. What is the best nitrogen fertilizer to use? Well, there's two different ones out there. If you have an acid-loving plant, then ammonium sulfate would be your best bet for that. But things like tomatoes and squash and onions and all these kind of things like this, calcium nitrate is the best that I have found. I have very good success with that. It has made my garden just jump when I add it to it. So calcium nitrate for garden vegetables, acid loving is what? Oh.
I had to read.
Oh, acid loving is ammonium sulfate.
Dee said her maiden name was written on your couch, so it's Parrish.
Oh, Parrish.
I
Okay.
didn't know that, Dee. That's funny. That's why I had to look it up. I had to see what Dee's last name was.
Okay.
It's amazing watching. It's amazing watching and learning and growing your food with through a kid's eyes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And my grandchildren have. My granddaughters are getting interested in that.
One prayer request I was going to mention tonight. I failed to mention it. Wanda's kid's father is not doing well, and I would like for everybody to remember him. His name is Wayne. He's having to have a lot of fluid drawn off of his lower abdomen area. I'm understanding is at least once a week, and don't know what the problem is, but it doesn't matter anything about our past. You know, I know it's Wanda's ex-husband, but
it is my
it's still it's still her children's father. And anytime anything like that, I mean, I still have a heart for that because I'm a father, and I just I want y'all to pray for him that they can figure out what's going on.
And I feel for my children because of their father being sick. You know, it still breaks my heart. So y'all keep my kids and my grandkids and their pop in prayer.
Yeah. It's it's never a good thing when someone gets really ill, and a loss is a loss. You know, when it comes to losing someone, I know firsthand. You have to learn to put some things to the side. You know, whether it's if you got bad feelings or whatever, all that kind of stuff, you just got to learn to put that stuff to the side because it is it's a human life, and in the Lord's eyes, all life is precious. You know.
Christy Betts' sister is sick again, and Christy's been with us for a long, long time. I remember them too.
Yeah. Does Wayne know the Lord? I can't answer that. Now he says that he does.
I don't know.
But I can't answer that 100%. You know, I don't know. That's between him and the Lord, as far as I know.
I don't know.
It's you have to. All you can do is look on someone's past life and the way they live, and just try to determine from that. And so I won't judge that situation because I don't know.
Barbie says that she didn't realize we lived in Wiggins. They live in Ocean Springs, and they have a friend that has a blueberry farm in Wiggins they pick out, and they're growing sweet potato slips for the first time. Yeah, I'm still amazed at the people that are waiting on potatoes in water to grow slips. I'm in several groups, and all I see is people saying, how long do I wait for slips to grow from these potatoes? And the answer's underneath them: months, months, weeks, months. And I'm like, put them in dirt. I mean, yours, did you say yours hadn't popped yet? Or you
Mine hasn't popped yet. But I mean, I haven't.
2 weeks?
No, it's only been a little over a week.
Well,
I haven't.
2 weeks.
I haven't dug down to see anything yet because I'm so busy. I just go by every day and look to see if I see them popped out of the ground yet, because it's really still just a little bit too cool for us to put them out anyhow. So.
So we don't care, but ours usually, once they start, it's continuous for months. Danny last year just finally quit pulling slips off of them, and they were still slips in there when we planted the sweet potatoes. Those are probably still up.
Yeah,
they're still
does
in there.
citrus like calcium nitrate? Yeah, but you have to be kind of careful with it, because you can overdo it. What do you think about the Chilean nitrate from Hall's Tool? It's good. I can't. It's just another form of nitrogen. I mean, the thing about it is, the reason I use calcium nitrate is because our soil is very low in calcium here, and it's a very good picker upper. The nitrate in it gives it that boost that it needs, and then in the calcium in it helps the cell structure of the plants, and they tend to just do really well.
Thank you, Bless Gardner. I guess we're reasonably through.
Yeah, we're over with. We gotta get out of here.
It's late.
I know
I'm
it's
getting
late.
tired and
Wanda's getting
I'm
tired.
out of my
Anyway, guys,
stuff.
we let me see. I gotta see if I can pull this thing down. You made me lift it up here a while ago.
Thank you, Laura. She's
me
sending me
see.
some sunflowers.
Let me see if I can pull this thing.
I gotta
There
get
we
where
go.
we can plant some sunflowers this year.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we got to get off of here. It has been a blessing tonight to spend some time with you guys, and we will see you in the next video. So everybody have a blessed night, and don't forget to set your clocks ahead tonight.
And yes, the sweet potatoes do have roots ready to plant when you take them off the plant when they're in dirt.
Yeah.
You don't have to put them in water.
You don't have to put them in with water. As a matter of fact, you'll be surprised at how many roots they do have.
They have